Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
Welcome back. Today on the Account for Life podcast, a word to the wise is this. I used to hear this back when I was in high school. Some of the teachers, whenever they would leave the room, they would say a word to the wise, like you better stay focused, because when I come back, if y'all going crazy up in here, something might go down. Now that's back when teachers could, I don't think this is high school, so they didn't give out spankings, but they were more authoritarian like back then. This is in the 80s now. Teachers trying to get authoritarian in the classroom, like kids out of control. So they used to say this. And I just remember, thinking to myself, man, what if we just kind of do this? Or what if we do that? What if I'm just running my mouth and they come back? What am I going to get attention? Well, I was checking out Proverbs 17. And in Proverbs 17, there's two verses in there that talks about understanding, restraint, words, being wise, knowledge. And I'm going to read them really quick. And then we're going to try to jump into a few things about being wise. Like, how can a person be wise? And there's so many people that are wise, but a lot of times they're not running their mouth. Like, wise people are not on the corners singing their own praises. They're not out there just talking about, they're not just making a lot of noise. No, they're not. So in Proverbs 17, favorite verse, man, there's always a lot of favorite verse. Favorite verse is verse number 27. I'm going to read 27 and 28. So 27 says, the one who has knowledge uses words with restraint. So think about it. Have you ever said something you wish you didn't say? Have you ever done something you wish you didn't do? Now, it's nothing like something coming out of our mouths that I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish I wouldn't have said that. Like this happens like a lot. It happens in business. It happens in marriages. It happens in marriages. It happens in friendships. It happens in just about every type of situation that we can imagine. Somebody gets to run in their mouth, and then next thing you know, something could be misconstrued. Or you could find out about somebody. Oh, look at that. Look at what I just learned about them. So it says, the one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even tempered. Because you don't let yourself kind of like get flustered when it comes to certain situations. Because look, it's nothing like patience. It's nothing like patience, like you hear about people like Warren Buffett, who is one of the richest men in the world. But if you were to go look at his timeline, he wasn't always rich. Like he was so patient. He was patient enough that, he was well into his 40s. I believe he was like I don't have the exact timeline, but I know he was well into his 40s before he really was rich. And so it seems like, he was just, maybe he was out running his mouth so he can get the deals. No, he just, when he uses words with restraint. You don't find him just saying anything in the marketplace. No, you don't. Like when people ask him questions, he's probably going to be very careful on the words that he uses when it comes to describing how he's created wealth for himself. But what he does is he describes in such a way that's just like, man, it just seems so simple. Why? Because what he was even-tempered. He was even-tempered. He was patient. And if we're going to be wise in 2024, Come on now, things are going to happen. But we got to be patient. We got to be even tempered. We can't allow things to just like totally mess our days up to the point where, oh my goodness, man, I can't believe this happened. Now, here's what's interesting. I've noticed something just in these first few days of 2024 is that you got to watch your back. You have to watch your back. And when I say you got to watch your back, you could be going forward. You're going to hit your goals. You're doing your thing. And something's behind you, like, boom, it's going coming right for your head. So imagine you get whacked upside your head. You're gonna start cursing, you're gonna start, you know, like saying all kind of stuff to at that point, oh shoot, I just got whacked upside my head. That hurt. I I may be knocked out. Like I might be on the ground. Like in real life. But if we're just talking about circumstances, situations, these situations maybe they could be knockout blows. So you got to be on the lookout for a knockout blow. When the knockout blow comes, that's when you got to get even tempered. That's when you got to be like, that hurt really bad. Then we got to look whatever that is in the face. You know, I was praying this morning about something, and I just asked the Lord, I says, man, just strengthen me through that. Because you know how you don't want something to happen, but you kind of know it's probably going to happen, or it could come get close to like something you don't want. Like, and I'm looking at this thing, I'm just like, I don't want that. I don't want it. And then the other part of it says, well, you may have to deal with it. And when it comes, so if it comes, just help me to stand up. Help me to be able to understand it, you know, and work through it and be patient and to allow that temperance to just be a part of me. Because when I can be even tempered, you know, when I can hold on to my emotions, because emotions get the best of us sometimes. If I can hold on to them and not allow the emotions to get the best of me, even though it's hurtful, even though it's painful, even though it's a situation that I sorely don't want to happen, even though it wasn't fair, even though somebody caught me off guard, even though, wow, thank you. Thank you for helping me through it. But it also says in the last verse, it says, even fools are thought to be wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. So you don't even have to be smart. You don't have to be wise in and of itself, because most of us aren't wise. All we have to do is realize that certain circumstances require us to shut our mouths, keep our mouths closed. Like when I was doing some research on chapter 17, what I saw in the research was that these last verses, they represent how a person can use discernment when it comes to their words. You know, it's nothing like, man, I love Joshua 1:8. It's nothing like Joshua 1:8, right? The Joshua 1:8 principle. Maybe I'll coin that. The Joshua 1:8 principle. What is the Joshua 1:8 principle? What you think, what you say equals what you do. I'm sorry, what you think, what you say, and what you do equals what you get. That's the Joshua 1:8 principle. What you think, what you say, and what you do plus equals what you get. All right, so let's make this practical for people in business today, or people who want to be in business, people who aren't sure about business, people who have high esteem for themselves. So I'm going to include everybody. Maybe there's a goal that you want to accomplish, but he's like, man, I don't know that I can do it. Okay, don't worry about knowing how to do it. You don't have to know how to do it. What you have to know how to do is think about it. How can you think about this thing that you want? Like, I remembering that I could do 1,000 push-ups a day. Man, I used to do that. And I remember I would get down to do 100. I'm like, yo, why it hurts? I'm like, I've been lifting weights, 100 push-ups, 200 push-ups. Oh, I'm like, yo, this is like, how did I do 1,000? But then I start thinking about it all the time again. I just start saying, I'm going to do 500 push-ups a day. I'm going to just do them. I'm going to do 500 push-ups a day. I'm already 8 days in. Today is day number 9. 8 days in, actually more, but the actual push-up challenge did not officially start to the 8th, but I started on the 1st. I think the 1st was canceled. I didn't do anything on the 1st. Then the 2nd, I only did 350. I was so tired. But so the 2nd I did 350. The 3rd I did 500. The 4th I did 500. And then let me see, look at the dates real quick because I did fall off. The 5th I did 500. But then on the 6th, I didn't get to 500, nor did I get to 500 on the 7th. That's when it was time to do something. What you think, what you say, what you do equals what you get. So if in 2024 we want to get more than we've ever had, get more. Anybody want to get more? Anybody want to get more money? Anybody want to lose? See, this losing weight is an interesting one because a lot of times when you lose something, you go and find it again. So let's reframe that one. Anybody want to get in the best shape of their life? Anybody want to be the best version of themselves inside and out? Anybody want to have great relationships with their family, with their friends, with their spouses? Is there anybody out there that wants to learn something that they never thought they could learn? But you know what? I think I can learn it. Is there anybody out there that just thinks big? Well, you want to think big, but maybe you have had a hard time doing that because it just seems so far out there. If that's you, then let's put the Joshua 1:8 principle in action, right? We're going to put the Joshua 1:8 principle in action, and we're also going to look at use what we just discovered in Proverbs 17:27 is that the one who has the knowledge uses words with restraint. So now you have knowledge. Think about this. You have knowledge about Joshua 1:8. It's the principle. What you think, what you say, what you do equals what you get. So imagine, man, I want to have, I have a business that's doing, a lot of people say this. I'm going to have a business that's doing $10,000 a month. Not me, but a lot of people say that. Maybe that's because you're just starting out and maybe you've never made $10,000 a month. I'm going to have a business doing $10,000 a month. Okay, what are you thinking about? Right? So this is where you got to use words with restraint. You have to use words with restraint because imagine you start saying things like, man, I'm broke this week. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't say anything. You can't think anything that will hurt your chances. You can't do that. Because in the principle of Joshua 1:8, what you think is the first one. That's the first part of the framework. So I'm going to use words with restraint. So that means that any words that don't allow me to live the best life that I could live, they are canceled. They are gone. Any words. I don't care where the words, I don't care what the words are about. Any words. I'm not going to say anything. Coming back from Texas last week, I was complaining a little bit because our flight had gotten messed up. And then I realized no more complaining. All I can think about is the amazing things, the amazing situations that I'm in, the amazing things that's happening to me every single day. That's all I can think about. Think. It's the first, right? Because because by the time we use our words, it says use words with restraint. Then it also says whoever has understanding is even-tempered. That means because you have think about this. If you understand something, you're gonna make rash decisions. Like if you understood how to make $10,000 a month, specifically, if you understood how to make $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month. If you understood how to multiply the money that you have, if you understood it, you're not going to do anything that would conflict with the understanding of that. You see how this works, right? Because what I'm thinking about is going to produce, it's going to produce the words that I say, and the words that I say are going to produce the actions. The one who has understanding is even tempered. So by the time it's time to do something, I know exactly how I should be operating. So I'm not I'm not going to be moving in a way that that's going to hurt me, right? And and basically, and then verse 28 just basically says that even a dummy, if he does this, will get it. What? Have you ever? And this is the last thing here. Have you ever saw somebody that you says, man, how are they doing that? How are they more? How are they so successful? They maybe a friend of mine met Master P. You know who Master P is, the rapper. He met him. He was just like, yo, dude, I can't believe how rich this dude is. And like he was judging him, but he was just like, yo, but that guy's rich. That guy did some amazing things because he didn't even live by this, but he lived by it. It's funny because the Bible, as Christians, we use it, but we don't use it. We go to church, we sing songs. I've never spoken in tongues, but some people speak in tongues. Some people even, know prophecy and give prophecy. Some people have a word, and yet, which is mind-boggling to me. It's upsetting. It really is. But you know what? I'm not upset. It just lets me know that I've got to continue to grow into my God likeness. What about you? Are you willing to grow into your God likeness today? Are you willing to become the person that God said you were? See, God thought about you, but at this point, because you've already manifested, that means God has said something about you. Here's the thing, God can't do it for you. That's the one thing God won't do. He will not do anything for you that he's already said that you should do. What he does is he will assist us. How does God assist? Here's how God assists, and it's the last thing. I said that a second ago, but this is the last thing. God assists us because when we confirm the words, the right thinking, the right words, and the right actions, it has to happen. That is how he set it up. That's a principle. That's how God wanted it. And he showed us in his word. Let there be light. Now, we can't create out of nothing. What we can do is we can use the words, we can use the stuff to create stuff because that's who he said we were. So word to the wise is this. Read the word. Think about the word. Say stuff that's in the word and do what the word says. If you do that, you will be ... You fill in the blanks. So guys, I thank you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. Make sure if you're on Facebook and you know who I am, you know how to find me, Jay Moore, Healthy Accountant. Join the push-up challenge with us. I do need to upload a couple of videos here on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. Our channel has grown. I think we're over 3,000 subscribers. And just so excited about that this year. We're looking for 100,000 subscribers this year. What else is happening? Yeah, the push-up challenge is happening. So I'm doing 500 push-ups every single day. Completed 8 days. Today is day number 9. Wow, that's a lot of push-ups. But you know what? It's teaching me so much about who I am. God gives us different things to do. And this is one thing that's teaching me a lesson about me. So I hope you got value today. If you did, shoot me a comment and let me know what you got. I appreciate you. Love you. And I'll see you back here in the next one. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live. So live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.